Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode in my Beginner Game Dev Diary series. I apologize, it's been so long since my last video. I've been so focused on making the game and working on some other projects that the YouTube content aspect of everything fell to the side, but I really want to get back into it, so here is a new video. A lot has changed in Bingus. If you look at the first ever video I made and the video I'm about to share with you today, there is just such a huge amount of new content in this game. I'm super proud of it. If I were to go over all the stuff I've made in the past few months, the video would be too long and even more boring than it already is. So I'm just focusing on the stuff I'm working on right now, and hopefully I will have a new version of the game to share with you early next year with new levels, some balance fixes, some new ways to control Bingus, and so on. So this is a level that sits just before the dungeon level before you face Orzak at the end of the game. And I've currently called it Creepy Castle as an homage to the Donkey Kong 64 level, but I might change that name. Is it homage or homage? I don't know. So here it is. Let's make that a little bit bigger. It had the working title of Perilous Path because the idea was that you are making your journey to Orzak's main layer. Now, none of this is final. This is all work in progress. At the moment, I've been working with my artist, just designing the tile sets and assets and everything. So nothing here is in place. This is currently just mostly a testing bed. You can see it's quite dark and we've got Bingus sort of lit up a little bit. And the idea is that those torches will have some lighting too. So we've got this new enemy who drops little bombs on you when you get too close. You can see that. So we want to get past him. And also now we've got variable jump height too. So if I jump a little bit, he jumps like that. If I hold down jump, he jumps higher. It's not quite perfect yet, but and what you'll notice is we've got a key system. So that opens the door. And it does a little cutscene sort of thing. I've added a debugging feature, but I actually might add this into the game as well, where if I press with the right key, I can go to any checkpoint in the level. And I might add this in as a feature so you can fast travel to checkpoints you've activated. The reason for that is because this level is going to be the largest level in the game by quite a significant margin. I would argue it's probably going to be about the size of 2 or 3 levels put together because I'm experimenting with not an open world game because I don't like those, but making it a bit more open-ended, a bit like a Metroidvania, but incredibly casual and basic. So let's teleport to the courtyard. And that's obviously dynamic and it will work on any level. So here we go. Again, all work in progress. Oh my god. No, not dying. Okay, so because you respawn at the last activated checkpoint, it's now taking me over to the challenge level, but this could be quite fun to show you. So we've got this little challenge level that you have to go through with these platforms, and you can see that little white box is currently spawning the platforms as well. And when they get to the end, they sink. That's quite cool. So this is, I'm not really sure I'm happy with this yet, but there's no collision here yet. So let's go back to the courtyard and hopefully not mess it up. Okay, so we need to kill this guy because he drops a key. There we go. And here, so you can see that's some placeholder sprite work for the doors. I've actually got proper doors ready to be put in. I need to work on that. So, ooh, nice try, buddy. Let's get rid of him. So you can jump on his head. Got the bouncy boys. And then there's another key. This area obviously not done, right? But what I wanted to show you is this area here. So this is Woobo's. And Woobo's is the bonus area / challenge area of this level. So you talk to her, placeholder text, and I've got this decision-making system. And that's a new system as well, so I can put that in anywhere and it will feed back the result. And so if we say maybe later, she gets upset. And if you go with the challenge, we go to the challenge level. So you get to control a new character. And the challenge is you have to fly through these rings. So you press space. It's a bit like Flappy Bird with the controls. You have to get through these rings. Obviously, it's pretty obvious where you go. And when you have to fly through them one side and out the other, and then it will register. You can't just like dip in like this because look, it doesn't work because I've coded it to check what side you're entering and exiting the ring from. So let's just keep going. And you're not allowed to touch the ground either, so let's see how far we can get. I think this one This one is a little bit difficult here because you have to be... Oh, yeah, I've done it. I'm good at my game. And then if you touch the ground, the challenge ends, but I've not added the fail state, so we just soft lock forever. So that is... I don't think we can restart. I think restarting works. And you can see, there we go. So the idea of this level is that it's this courtyard area is going to be sort of like the main hub. You start off like making your way towards the hub. So there's various platforming challenges, the other things I've not shown you. And this courtyard is going to have 3 keys in this working area here. There will be 3 doors. And you will need to collect all 3 keys to progress to the next area, which will be sort of the interior of the castle, and then there'll be platforming challenges and stuff there. And then you will get to the end of the level. So there are 3 challenges. The first one is up here. And I was experimenting a little bit with... So this isn't actually technically part of the level file. This is its own... How do you open this? Open an editor. You can see this is its own separate scene. And I was just experimenting with making things a little bit more modular. And that worked quite well. There's not much to talk about here. It's all pretty standard. And the good thing is that means I can... Obviously, it's not going to be there in the final level, but it means like I can literally... I can put it wherever I want and move the whole thing, and it's just literally one scene file. And that's quite good for these challenges because I don't know where they're going to go. And it also means you can do fun things like this. Ooh, that's not very fun, but... You get 3 keys, open the locks, and then progress. So that's the first challenge. And then the second challenge is going to be some sort of new enemy here that maybe charges into walls and you need to dodge them. And then Wubose isn't part of the challenges. She's just the bonus gem for this level because I was a bit bored of the coin collecting ones. And I want to talk about the bonus challenge. So it's a separate file. And this is an old version of the map, I think. So it will need updating when the level was finished. But we've got a few things at play here. We've got Wubose, who's just got pretty standard controls that with a bit of change to gravity, but I'm interested in the rings. So here's the ring. What happens when I test it? Oh, you can't see it. So the way the ring works is that there's 2 collision points, and before we say that the ring is being entered and exited properly, we have to check 2 things. We have to check that we've entered the ring first, and we have to check that we've hit this center point in the middle, and then we have to check that we've left on the other side. If these conditions have been met, then we flag that the ring has been completed properly. Let's have a look at the code. I haven't looked at this in a while, so I apologize if I'm a little bit forgetful on what I did. So let's talk through it. So we've got some work here just to show which ring should be shown first. Obviously, if the ring ID is 1, then that's the first one we want to look at. So they're all hidden by default, but ring 1, we obviously want to be there first. Because after you go through a ring, the ring behind it, or that ring, would also disappear by shrinking and turning green. So each ring has its own exported variable, and this is important because in the bonus level, there is a challenge manager, ring manager. It could be either one. So when we go down here, we've got the main bit here. So when the main body is entered, so that's the outside bit there, Excuse me. So I've left some notes to myself just to so I could talk about it properly. Excuse me. So when we go through it, I learned about this thing called signing, where it will return a positive or negative 1, depending on the result it gets from doing a calculation. So we calculate the side that the Wubose has entered the ring from by subtracting Wubose's global position, the X position, versus the ring's X position. And that will tell us whether it's to the left or sort of not to the left or to the right or not, neither one of those, which would be a 0. So we just flag this. We're resetting it in case, like just doing some busy work. And then we do some layering to sort of simulate Wubose going through the ring and out to make it look as if she's going through it rather than just flying on top of it or flying behind it. So we get this information, and then when we've got a center body here, this just flags that we've hit the center. There's not much going on there. What's interesting is when we exit the ring, we check. So if the entry side, which we calculated over here, if you remember, if that's a 0, then it means we haven't entered from left or right, and so we exit. We don't need to carry on. But now we get the exit information. So we get the global position X, and then we calculate the exit side. Literally the same way we're using the sine function to calculate which side it is. And now we need to check if they've flown through one side and flow through the other. So if we've hit the center and the exit side is equal to minus the entry side, so if it's a 1 and a -1, or a -1 and a 1, whatever, then we admit that we've entered the ring. So we've done it properly. And what this does is we go to the ring manager, or the challenge manager, sorry, and you can see on ready, we are getting all of the challenge rings in the group, and then we're connecting their signals. And so what we do is we check the ring status down here, and we just check like what the last ring was and all this sort of stuff. I don't know, this is my debugging, very, very clever. And there's a bit of code here because initially all the rings were visible at once, and so I had a system where this was checking whether you've flown through the correct one or not, because otherwise you could fly through them in any order. So this was checking if the one you've flown through is the correct one based on the last ring that you went through. So you can see that here, and that code is still in place because I might use it later. If that's true, we append a rings flown through array, and that's how we're storing which ring was the last ring we went through, right? And if it's all gone well, then we emit we've flown through successfully. And what happens when we do that, I think we hook up this signal here, ready, flag ring, so you can see it here. So once we verified with the challenge manager that everything is kosher and good, then we signal back. And this is where it gets a little bit clunky, right? Because every ring listens to this signal. And so what happens is the challenge manager goes, okay, ring number 2, you are good. And so it signals that, and all of the rings listen, and it goes, am I ring 2? If they are, it goes, oh yeah, sorry, I keep clicking and dragging. It goes, oh yeah, I am ring 2. So it does all this, shrinks, hides the arrow, and does all that. And then this also goes, okay, well, what about the ring before or the ring behind us? We get rid of that as well, because initially I had the ring behind you still visible, and then that would disappear after you complete a certain amount of rings ahead of it. So that's how we check. It's a bit rudimentary, right? Because you're announcing ring number 2, and you've just got all of the rings going, huh? Was that me? And then we just shrink it, which is pretty straightforward. I had to put this process frame waiting here because otherwise the game would crash. I don't really understand why I need to do that, but I've had to do it in a few places. It seems to work. I don't fully have my head around why that's happening. I know it checks it every frame rather than like just constantly. So I don't know, maybe there's something there. So that's the ring system. And I did this all myself, really proud of it. Had to learn about signing and stuff. I watched some YouTube videos and checked the documentation for that. But I'm really chuffed with it, and it works really, really well. Very, very nice. So I'll just show you it one more time in action. So this is all custom sprite work that I got my artists to make, and paid them for it and all that jazz. So I'm trying to move away from free assets, apart from Wubos, who's a free sprite. But all of this is oh, no, sorry, the background is also from itch.io 2 at the moment. Oh, not very good, but you can see if I fly through to the left, there you go, perfect. Works really well. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you in this episode is, on 14 minutes, I'll be quick, is the key system, where we've got keys and doors, somewhere around here, keys and doors. So we've got the level key, and then so this exports a key ID. When you collect the key, if it's Bingerstats collected it, we emit the signal, and I think there's a door manager somewhere, so I don't know where the door manager is. I definitely have a door manager. Do I not have a door manager? Oh no, I think it's in Game Manager, sorry, my bad. So here we go. So on ready, oh god, this is such a mess, because this is like from back when I first started making the game. So the game manager is so unbelievably messy. Oh my god. But there's a signal in here somewhere, right, that connects all the doors. And where is it? I don't know. Door setup, maybe? Key setup, there we go. We get all the nodes in the key group, and then we get all the nodes in the door group, and then we connect the signal. Okay? And what that does is it signals it, and then we unlock the door. So we send the signal to the game manager. The game manager goes, okay, I know what's going on. This is really messy, but it works. We send the unlock signal to the door, and obviously the door has its, so the keys have, so key ID 1, so that means this door has a door ID of 1. So when you collect the key, it signals to the game manager, I am key number 1, and I've been picked up. The game manager goes, okay, door number 1, unlock. And it's the same system that I did for the rings. That's how I learned how to do it. The doors all go, am I door number 1? Am I door number 7? Am I door number 10? Oh, I am. I will unlock now. And then it unlocks it. So, like, I don't really like... I just feel this is a bit RPG makery, just putting, like, a bunch of events in. But I don't know, it works, right? So I'm kind of chuffed that I came up with it. So, where are the doors? Oh my god, there's so much shit in here. One of my weaknesses is I'm just not very good at organizing. It works in my head, but thank god no one else has to work on this project. I would feel so sorry for them. But this is very simple. We connect the game manager destroy door signal, and then we just we load up a unlocking sound, and we play that. The reason for that is just because it means that as soon as that audio is finished, we queue free the node and get rid of it, and it means we're not just using like one audio stream in case we're having lots of things happening and lots of sounds. So this is a bit more dynamic. It instantiates the audio player, plays it, and then when it's done, it gets rid of it. And I feel this is a little bit more dynamic, but I use this same code in a lot of places, and I'm duplicating it a lot. So I do think this is probably better to have an audio manager global that just handles this process independently, and we just call it from there, because I'm using this in a lot of places and that's not efficient, so I need to fix that. So that's all I wanted to share. I'm sorry it's really quick. There's so much going on, and I probably didn't do a great job explaining this because I wrote this a couple of weeks ago, and whenever I write something and come back to it, I do genuinely forget what I've done. But I'm so proud of this game. It is a mess. There is code here from a year ago when I didn't even know what what a signal was. But there are elements here where it's really starting to come along, and when I make the sequel, I will be refactoring a lot of processes and rebuilding, and I'm really excited, and I think I've learned a lot over the year. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to say I'm a good programmer, but I'm having a lot of fun just making my hodgepodge game and creating my own custom levels and systems and everything. This level is going to be really good when it's done, I promise you. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but I've only been working on this for about 3 weeks, so I'm just getting the fundamentals in, and then we can focus on the main event. The final level with Orzak, that's also been changed as well, but I don't want to share that yet because it's going to look really, really cool. There's lots of cool systems there too. Thank you for listening. I'm going to try and work on some more short-form structured content, like proper produced videos, but at the moment, I just wanted to get back into the swing of things and yap for 18 minutes. If you've listened to this, watched this whole thing, thank you very much for your time. If not, that's fine too. And hopefully see you in the next episode.